Okay. So, and now I'm sharing the screen. So yes, some students like to write down things by hand. Others are more technology, you know, they will take screenshots, you know, whatever. So it doesn't matter how you do it, as long as you do it. And maybe your notes are different from your friends' notes. And somebody likes to take detailed notes, others want to have like the big picture. Up to you. You just have something. And you know, it's yes, I'm asking for it, but it's not for me. Ultimately, it is for you because it will help you during the revision. Okay, it will help you to learn. Also, it will help you to actively listen, right? You're not just sitting and, you know, thinking when will he finish. You're maybe writing down, noting important things, the interesting things, hard things. Oh, did he mention this word? I never knew this word. I will write it down, and then after the lecture, I will check what this word means. So, oh, okay, I understand. Great. Things like that. Okay, so let's look at the syllabus quickly. So today we'll cover chapter 1 and 2. Okay, I wanted to show you this. So every week we'll have a quiz, 10%. So your OneNote is 5%. Also, there's a workbook. It's called English for Logistics. So it's very easy. So what I want you to do, I want you to download. I already put it in files. You download it and you do exercises there. It's very simple, like putting words, matching words. It's English for Logistics. So just do it. There's 8 chapters. Do it at your own pace. Some things we'll do together, and then at the end of the, so in November, December, I will look at it. I want to see that you are working. Yeah. Also, there's an audio file. I also shared it in files. You can listen and you know, learn. Because in this class you'll have presentation, so I want you to at least be able to pronounce the words correctly. Okay, so please, at your own pace, work with those things. Midterm exam, so presentation and report 20%. So presentation, presentation. Maybe you will work with a partner, I'm still deciding. Okay, so presentation 10%, report 10%. And midterm exam 30%, final exam 30%. So if you want A, you should have at least 80 points. If you have lower than 50, it's F. Okay, so please accumulate those points and you will have a good grade. Okay, so just a moment. Okay. So I posted this video about logistics in the MS team. I hope you all watched it. It's about FedEx and UPS, how they operate. So, but logistics is not just about sending boxes. There's logistics in everything. For example, you open a restaurant, right? You need to design a process, you know, how you bring food, when you bring food, how you take orders, how the orders go to the cooking stuff, how, so it needs to be all flowing smoothly, right? How many times in Thailand, you go to a restaurant, they come and say, what do you want to eat? And you give them, I want chicken, this, and okay, okay, okay. And then they disappear. And then when they bring your food, it's wrong, right? So what happened? She was taking notes, she was listening, and somehow the information didn't reach the people who were cooking, right? So you say, no, I didn't order shrimp, I wanted chicken. They go, they waste time, they waste money, right? So now many restaurants in Thailand have electronic systems. If you go there in person, they have a smartphone. They like click things and then it all goes, the information goes to the chef, right? And also, let's say everyone is ordering chicken. So the manager should decide, okay, we need to have more chicken prepared for the customers and maybe less shrimp. No one is ordering shrimp. You know, oh, tomorrow is a day off, so will we have more customers or less customers? So it's very important wherever you work. There's some logistics. Even when I'm teaching you, because I'm not just teaching one student or two or three. There's many in some classes, 37 people, right? So I need to design some kind of a way how to have it, some kind of order, right? How it goes, how they submit, how I respond. Otherwise, it will be a disaster. Think about Lazada, right? You order things, it comes to you. You want to fly on an airplane, how it all works, You come, you check in, you show your ID, they search you, they let you in, then they board the plane. The but even when they board the plane, first they put people in the back of the airplane, right? And they fill it like that gradually. So there's some kind of order in everything. And originally logistics was started in the Roman army, right? You have a big army, they're fighting, but they also get hungry, right? So you need to supply them with food, with uh, ammunition, right? With things, and think before there were horses, so horses needed food, so you needed to design a way how to do it. Um, if there's no flow, then there will be a disaster, right? It's like, oh, I want to find look for food, and there was war, and then we started fighting. I didn't have my stuff. I couldn't find my helmet. They were repairing the helmet, right? It's a disaster. So logistics is it's not new, but because our world is getting more and more complex, right? There's more and more logistics. Think 10 years ago, there was no food delivery in Thailand, right? You were just sending packages and maybe mail. And now there's more internet trade, right? You buy things online, you sell things online. So uh, someone designed it, how it all works, right? Someone designed the Grab application, Line application. Now CP, they're producing food, but they're also involved in shipping, right? So if you order food from their company, they will deliver it for you because it's a booming business. Okay, so it's very interesting and it's developing. And in the future there will be more, right? More things will switch online. Today we still go shopping, right? You go to Tesco, you go to Big C, but maybe in the future there will be no need to do that, right? You will be able to order more and more things online. There will be no need to go to Tesco to buy things like, let's say you want to buy a bag of rice. There's no point of going there. They will deliver it for you. But how they do it? If they just deliver for you, it's very expensive, right? Driving the whole car for just one person. But if they collect all the orders for a week for, let's say, rice, and then they send that truck and it delivers it, uh, it goes uh, according to the route. Kind of like in Thailand, the children, right? The children, there's a bus that goes and picks up children. They know the address, so they go in order, right? They pick one, then the other, then the other, then the other, and then they drive to school. And then in the evening, it's backwards, right? Again, someone designed that system. So this is logistics. So if you have not watched this documentary, please do so. Logistics is in everything. So I have some examples here. So for example, this is Russia, and Russia has a lot of natural gas. And Europe needs natural gas, for heating, for cooking, for factories, but they don't have. So Russia is selling it to them. So they have the pipeline. They build the pipeline, and it goes under the Black Sea, and you see, and then it goes through different countries, and they make sure that, let's say, it needs to come to Austria. So it goes through Hungary and Romania and Bulgaria, right? And those countries also get it. So they need to design a way how to, push that gas from Russia all the way to Europe, feeding various countries and also charging them, right? It's not free, so they need to know. So this is a more complex. So you see, it's not just through Black Sea. It's coming also from in the north. So it's very complex system. Uh, so logistics is not just about shipping things. If you think logistics is only about uh, grab delivery and post office, no, it's more than that. The logistics in everything. So you can deliver things by air, by water, also through the pipeline. In Thailand, they also have some pipelines for petrol, maybe to deliver. Also, think about water. We take it for granted. You want to take a shower, you go and you take a shower. But where does the water come from? Oh, from the pipe. And who put it in the pipe? Where does the pipe go, right? Oh, it goes to the river. No, the water in the river is not, you know, good enough for shower. So first, the government takes the water from the river, then it puts it through cleaning process, and then it sends it to each street and each house. Same thing with electricity, internet, same thing, right? They need to design a way how to reach far away, but while reaching far away, to feed every point along the route. Okay, so another example is, for example, McDonald's. Okay, many of you watched this movie. So McDonald's, look how they designed the McDonald's system, fast food.
Ready and action. This is the most remarkable restaurant I've seen in all my years in the food service industry, and I've seen it all. I want to hear your story. here you are. How the heck did you come up with this?
Oh, I didn't. We did. Dick McDonald, my brother.
Hi. Boy, I gotta tell you, this is the most... Well, it's nice to meet you. The McDonald's brothers, what those two boys created, changed everything. This changed everything.
Care for a little tour? Speed. That's the name of the game. The first stop for every McDonald's hamburger is the grill.
So you see, it comes from the Ford auto industry. They decided that it's good to separate labor. You see, this guy only deals with bread. This guy only deals with meat. This guy only deals with ketchup. So then it's faster. Everyone is just doing their part. That's it. Before there was one guy who was doing everything, and it took time. He had to prepare bread, and he had to go get the meat, so it took forever. So fast food wise, it's fast because it's like a factory. Continue.
Manned by two cooks whose sole job it is to grill those all-beef beauties to perfection. Meanwhile, as the patty cooks, our dressers get the buns ready. Watch out. Burger crossing. Burger crossing. Burger crossing.
Mac and Dick McDonald stumbled onto a new system to fix the ills of the drive-in business, essentially, which is what they were in when they started.
They're sort of the Henry Ford of fast food. So they developed this choreographed way that food could be made in 30 seconds rather than 30 minutes.
We wanted something different, and that's when my brother here comes up with one of his brilliant ideas. Tell him, Dick.
Orders ready in 30 seconds, not 30 minutes.
And you were gonna love how we did it, Dick. You gotta tell him.
Tennis court?
Okay, he brings me out to this tennis court, and he's drawn this line, the exact dimensions of our kitchen.
Sink on the right, extruder on the left. Okay.
And Dick is running around with this stick, marking where all the equipment should be.
Tuck in. Tony, are you gonna skip the pickles when we're really doing it? Yes. No. No. Ketchup! Use your lazy Susan. And pickles, and pickle, and mustard!
The Speed D system is born,
And it's off to the races.
and we are an overnight sensation 30 years in the making.
What are you doing? There's time to lean, there's time to clean. Let's go.
They didn't just create fast food as we know it. They had to invent all the things that we take for granted that didn't exist back then. So one of the things they did was they created a little machine, like a flour sifter looking kind of thing, that they would just push a button and the right amount of ketchup would drop right onto the bun every time.
Now, where'd you get those?
We made them.
Made them.
Yeah, custom built. Full kitchen is.
It's a really incredible story because it shows you the excitement of this company at the beginning and what it must have felt like to stumble on this for a businessman like Ray Kroc.
A fresh, delicious burger from grill to counter in 30 seconds.
What they started, it really created the thing. Except that Ray Kroc saw it and saw the future.
You don't seem to realize what business you're in. You're not in the burger business. You're in the real estate business.
So you see, logistics. You take some restaurant, you take coffee shop, you take education, you take transportation, anything, and you can make it more efficient, right? It's faster, and not just faster, it's more accurate, right? Think if you send a letter and there's no system to track it, to guide it, then it's lost, right? You don't want your letter to be lost, and then no one can find it. So logistics is all of that. Okay, another example. The airport.
To know me is to fly with me. This is where I live. When I run my card, the system automatically prompts the desk clerk to greet me with this exact statement.
Pleasure to see you again, Mr. Bingham.
It's these kinds of systemized friendly touches that keep my world in orbit. all the things you probably hate about traveling, the recycled air, the artificial lighting, the digital juice dispensers, the cheap sushi.
So you see, logistics can help your business, but it can also help your life, how to be efficient. You can design a way how to organize your kitchen, how to organize your desk, how to find a better way to drive to university, how to do things more efficient, faster, so you will have more free time, right? So again, this is logistics. Another one.
Bingo. Asians.
You can't be serious.
Never get behind people traveling with infants. Never seen a stroller collapse in less than 20 minutes. Old people are worse. Their bodies are littered with hidden metal, and they never seem to appreciate how little time they have left on Earth. There you go. 5 words, randomly selected for additional screening. Asians. They pack light, travel efficiently, and they got a thing for slip-on shoes. God love them.
That's racist.
I'm like my mother. I stereotype. Faster.
So you see, he says faster. There's some faster ways to do things, right? So again, you can use the information we study in this class for your job to design some workflow, it goes faster, or you can apply it to your personal situations, and think, oh, maybe I should move the fridge, right? Because when I'm cooking, the fridge is so far away that every time I need to go get the food and then return, I'm wasting money, wasting time, right? So if I move the fridge closer, then everything will be faster, right? So I take the food from the fridge, it's near the sink, I wash it, and then I cut it, and then I can start cooking, right? Efficiency. Okay. And just a second. So let's get your book. Moment. Again, the book is already online. You can use it. You can. You don't have to print it. You can read online. Just a second. So let's cover chapter 1 quickly. So it means logistics is a Greek word, comes from science of computation. So you calculate things to be more efficient, right? How to do things better in less time. So, for example, you have a war. You need to calculate how many guns you need, how many soldiers you need, right? You cannot bring all the soldiers, you cannot bring all the guns, you cannot bring all the ships. You need to calculate exactly, not more, because more is waste of money and time, and not less, because if you bring less, you will lose the war, right? So it's very important. Okay, so art of war, military military are experts in logistics because they have many people, equipment, guns, food, many things. So they need to move it all the time. So they are experts. And business is also good. Look at McDonald's, Starbucks, KFC, airlines. They're also efficient. The worst, I mean, okay, education is okay. The worst is the government in every country, right? They're very inefficient. They're trying to be efficient. Now they're using computers, but they're still inefficient. They lose documents. They ask you to come again. They're getting there, but not all the way. Think about Thailand. For example, how many times in US, if you park your car incorrectly, the police will give you a ticket and you need to pay it. If you don't pay, then they will, come and arrest you. But in Thailand, often it was on paper, so people were just putting tickets in trash and, nothing was happening because they were not using computers. Police was not using computers, but think about internet companies in Thailand. If you don't pay for your internet service, next day they will disconnect you. So they're very efficient, right? So logistics is the management of all activities which facilitate movement and coordination of supply demand in the creation of time and place utility, right? So they make it easier to move and coordinate supply and demand. Okay, your business majors, you already know about supply and demand, right? There's a demand uh, for example, demand for coffee, right? So I need to think how to supply this, how to bring the supply of coffee, right? People want to drink coffee, so I need to find ways how to supply all these people who demand coffee to earn profit, right? People want to ship things. Right now, more and more businesses are doing things online, right? There's a demand for online things, online education, online shipping, online doctors, many things online. So companies need to find ways to supply it, because if they cannot supply, they will lose profits and someone else will take that position. So think about CP again. They saw, oh, there's demand for delivery of food. Some people are afraid of COVID, so they don't go shopping. Other people realize, oh, I don't need to go waste time. Let the company deliver. Yes, it's not free, but if I drive my own car, I waste gasoline, I waste time, I get tired. So maybe I pay a little bit and let them deliver it for me. Same thing. So now there's a huge demand for online uh, businesses. And think about AliExpress in China, right? They supply, they satisfy the demand, so they offer supply not just to China, but to many countries. So people want to buy something cheaply, so they go on Ali, and factories from China ship it. So again, first you need to have the product, then you need to have the app, translate the app, then you need to connect the factory with the app. So somebody goes on the app, orders something from China, then they need to put it through the Chinese post office, and then after that it comes to another country, right? And it needs to come in time, right? So if it's like more than 1 month, people will say, it's too long. So before I was using AliExpress, but now it's getting slower. So I'm using Lazada. Some people are using Shopee, right? And you can find anything, and it's cheap delivery and very fast, and the products are not as expensive as in normal shops. So in the future, you will see less brick and mortar. So you will see less real physical shops where you go, open the door, and more online shops for anything, for clothes, for computer things, for food, for anything, right? So it's the future. Yeah, in the future. Think about in the last year, there's more and more delivery in Thailand. There's more and more food delivery, right? You go on the road and there's Grab Food, Panda, Line Man, right? They're all delivering. I went to Starbucks in Lamphun. I was the only person there. And then when I was paying for the coffee, behind the counter, she had several phones, and I think one phone was Grab, one phone was Line, Panda, connected to a printer, and it kept printing orders. And then delivery people were coming and taking orders, right? So I realized many people, they want to drink coffee, but for some reason, they're not at Starbucks, they're ordering, right? So things are changing. So we have to be efficient, effective, forward and reverse flow of goods, services, information between point of origin and the point of consumption. Efficient and effective. So it needs to be fast and correct, right? When you ship something, it needs to be very fast and cheap, but also correct, right? If it's fast and incorrect, what's the point? Forward and backward. So let's say you buy something online, it doesn't work, or you order you go shopping, you buy something, you need to return, it's broken. How will reverse flow work, right? Or let's say Tesco ordered a lot of stuff and it cannot sell it. How will it go back to the warehouse? Goods are, rice, microphone, computer, and services, right? Services like transportation service, education service, right? Let's say you bought ticket online, you need to return it. How will it work? You go to the same website or you need to go to the different website, right? So again, in Thailand, I've noticed that it's very easy to buy things online, especially. But when it comes to returning things, things become difficult. Suddenly you need to go to a different website and fill a form you send, and then they lose the form. So the reverse flow is not well calculated, but it's important, right? Because people are not just buying tickets, they're returning tickets. They're not just buying goods, sometimes they need to return it. They don't like it. So how will it work? So this is very important, right? But same with YouTube. I paid money and then I needed a refund. I don't understand where to go. It's like they hide it from you, or I don't know what's happening. So point of origin, right? So point of origin, the warehouse, the factory, right? Where you make your product. And point of consumption, consumer, right? So think about iPhone. iPhone is put together in China, but many parts are coming from some parts are coming from US, some parts are from Africa, some parts from Korea. And in Chinese factory, they put it together in one and it becomes an iPhone. And then from there, let's say somebody in US will order the phone. How will it go? Will it go directly from China to US, or they already have a mini warehouse in US that will deliver it? How will it work, right? What if it's another country? Customer requirements. Customers have requirements. We need to satisfy customer requirements. If people are not happy, they will find another company. Today, there are many companies. This is why governments are not efficient and effective, because they're the only one, right? If you need to pay tax to the government, you cannot go to, there's only one government. You need to go there. You need to, for example, you need to get passport. There's only one agency in the country that gives passports, right? So they don't need to hurry. They can say, oh, it takes a month and you have to wait. But when it comes to education, when it comes to transportation, shopping, there are always many alternatives. So if you don't like Nok Air, you can go to AirAsia. If you don't like Shopee, you go to Lazada, right? You don't like Big C, you go to Tesco. Alternatives, right? So they need to be working hard. And again, logistics is positioning resources, right time, right place, right cost, right quality, right? So for example, I want to order rice now. I need rice now. I don't need it tomorrow. I didn't need it yesterday. I need it now. So please, who can sell rice to me? What company, right? I'm not just talking about 5 kilograms. Let's say I want to buy 5 million kilograms. I'm a country. Right place. Can you ship it to our country? Oh no, you have to come to our location in Bangkok. I need to come to you. Sorry. Bye bye. Right cost, right? So if everything is correct, but the cost is high, people will go to another company. If the cost is low, then the producers will not want to continue. And quality, right? I want basmati rice. I want Japanese rice. I want wild rice, right? Do you have that quality? I want organic rice. Do you have organic? No, we don't have organic, but we have, no, sorry, I only need this, right? So you need to satisfy your customers. If they like what you have, then they will come back. After they finish eating that rice, they will come back and buy more and buy more and more, right? So this is very important. And supply chain process. So supply chain, what is supply chain? For example, you are a factory, you're making cars, right? You're making cars, so you have to be receiving parts non-stop, right? I'm making cars. I need to receive, for example, light bulbs. Or I need to be receiving some kind of screws non-stop supply chain, right? So and then people who make screws, they need to be receiving metal, right? So it's a supply chain. Think about supply chain of Starbucks, right? Starbucks is selling cookies. So somebody is making cookies, and people who are making cookies, they're receiving sugar and flour and raisins, right? So let's say that the place that makes cookies, one morning they received everything, but they don't have sugar, right? So everything stops. And then Starbucks cannot sell cookies. And then okay, what happened? Where's the cookies? Sorry, we don't have sugar. So they call, why we don't have sugar? Well, because the farmers, something with the farmers, right? So it's a supply chain. Supply chain. So many smaller companies are involved. So we have big Starbucks, but there's farmers who produce coffee, and farmers who produce coffee, maybe they rely on fertilizers. There's milk, so some farmers have cows and they rely on cow feed, right? And sugar and many things. So this is called supply chain. Very important concept. So logistics is part of supply chain process, plans, implements, and controls efficient, effective forward and reverse flow storage of goods, services, and related information between point of origin and the point of consumption. Okay, so logistics is part of supply chain. You need to design everything. Okay, so maybe what we can do is you need to buy more sugar and keep some in stock, or maybe you need to order. So this is related information. So maybe the factory that makes cookies, they need to share information with the farmers. Hey, we're low on stock. Can you start sending us sugar now? We don't need it tomorrow, but on Monday we need it. So share information. You share information. How much you need. When you go to Tesco, they have many products. So as soon as they are low on stock, they start ordering. If they have too much, then they don't have there's nowhere to store it, right? So this is how modern shops operate. They don't have warehouses. Everything you see is what they have. If they're running low on stock, they start ordering. So it's very important to share information. So logistics, of course, they developed a lot during the war. Okay, because if you want to win a war, you need to be building planes and tanks, and who is producing your steel, who is feeding your troops. So, for example, when there was Vietnam War, American troops were at war in Vietnam, but they also were stationed in Thailand. And Americans like drinking Coca-Cola or Pepsi-Cola. So they were, Pepsi-Cola thought, I think it was Coca-Cola, they thought it's very expensive to ship beverage so far away. So let's just build a factory. So they started building factories. So after the Vietnam War, the factories stayed, right? So that's why in Thailand, okay. Okay. In Thailand, there's old Coca-Cola posters, right? Why? Because American troops were stationed in Thailand, right? So this is how Thailand got its Coca-Cola from the American troops. The factories were built in this part of the world, and ever since then, Thai people are, drinking Coca-Cola. That's how it works. Because again, the factories, the company decided it's easier to build a new factory in Bangkok than to ship bottles across the ocean. Okay, so So it's very, logistics is very, it's difficult, but at the same time it's interesting, and it has applications in every business today, not just shipping, in food, in army, in government, in everything, in education, how to make things more efficient. So another example, we're using MS Team, right? So if you have online education, video screen is not enough. So for example, Zoom is a good video conferencing tool, but what about homework, right? How would you submit homework? How would I give you grades? How would I do this, right? So I would lose your homework. You would not find your assignments, right? It would be difficult. So there needs to be some kind of logical way how to connect teachers and students. So teachers could teach, assign homework, students could send homework, teachers could grade and send it back, right? So reverse flow. You send homework to me, I return it to you. So this is, again, logistics. And you need to think carefully about all the possible things that could go wrong and fix them before they happen. So okay, so let's watch an interesting introduction to logistics before we continue with the book. Okay. Okay, just a second. Again, whatever I'm showing you, it's important because it's not just fun. This information I will include in quizzes and exams. So please, when you watch, it's not like you're watching a cartoon, right? You're watching important information for education. So like take notes, pay attention. Okay, just a moment. Just a second, please.
Logistics. It is defined as the art and science of obtaining, producing, and distributing material and product in the proper place and in proper quantities. Logistics management. It is the part of supply chain management that plans, implements, and controls the efficient, effective forward and reverse flow and storage of goods, services, and related information between the point of origin and the point of consumption in order to meet customers' requirements. Difference between supply chain and logistics. Transforming a raw material into products and getting it to customers is supply chain, whereas movement of materials in the supply chain is logistics. The 7 R's of logistics. The most popular concepts of logistics management is the concept of the 7 R's. It is concerned with getting the right product in the right quantity, in the right condition, at the right place, at the right time, to the right customer, and at the right price. Logistics functions. Following the areas of logistics management contribute to an integrated approach to logistics within supply chain management. Transportation. Many modes of transportation play a role in the movement of goods through supply chains via air, rail, road, water, or pipeline. Selecting the most efficient combination improves the value created for customers. Warehousing. When inventory is not on the move between locations, it may have to spend some time in a warehouse. Warehousing is the activities related to receiving, storing, and shipping materials to and from production or distribution locations. Third and fourth-party logistics. Third-party logistics providers actually perform or manage one or more logistics services. Fourth-party providers are logistics specialists and play the role of general contractor by taking over the entire logistics function for an organization. Reverse logistics. It is a way to handle the return, reuse, recycling, or disposal of products that make the reverse journey from the customer to the supplier. Logistics value proposition. Managers must be able to balance logistics costs against the appropriate level of customer service. Logistics are usually managed as an integrated effort to achieve customer satisfaction at the lowest total cost. Therefore, service and cost minimization are two key elements in logistics value proposition. Logistics goals and strategies. Logistics shares the goal of supply chain management to meet customer requirements. There are a number of logistics goals that most experts agree on. Respond rapidly to changes in the market or customer orders. Minimize variances in logistics service. Minimize inventory to reduce costs. Consolidate product movement by grouping shipments. Maintain high quality and engage in continuous improvement. And support the entire product lifecycle and the reverse logistics supply chain. An effective logistics strategy depends on the following tactics: coordinating functions, that is, transportation management, integrating the supply chain, substituting information for inventory, reducing supply chain partners to an effective minimum number, and pooling risks. Substituting information for inventory. It is one of the tactics used to design effective logistics strategy. It requires taking a series of steps to construct the logistics network. Step 1. Locate in the right countries. First, identify all geographical locations and then analyze your forward and reverse chains to see if selecting different geographic locations could make the logistics function more efficient and effective. Step 2. Develop an effective export-import strategy. Determine the volume of freight and units that are imports and exports and decide where to place inventory for strategic advantage. Step 3. Select warehouse locations. Determine the number of warehouses, calculate optimal distance from markets, and establish the most effective placement of warehouses around the world. Step 4. Select transportation modes and carriers. Determine the mix of transportation modes that will most efficiently connect suppliers, producers, warehouses, distributors, and customers. Step 5. Select the right number of partners. Select the minimum number of firms, freight forwarders, and third or fourth-party logistics to manage forward and reverse logistics. Step 6. Develop state-of-the-art information systems. It reduces inventory costs by accurately and rapidly tracking demand information and the location of goods. Substituting information for inventory. It is another tactic used to design effective logistics strategy. Physical inventory can be replaced by better information in the following ways. Improve communications. Talk with suppliers regularly and discuss plans with them. Collaborate with suppliers. Use continuous improvement tools and share observations about trends. Track inventory precisely. It could be done by using GPS and barcode systems. Keep inventory in transit. It reduces inventory costs, for example, cross-docking. Use postponement centers. Avoid filling warehouses with the wrong mix of finished goods by setting up postponement centers to delay product assembly until an actual order has been received. Mix shipments to match customer needs. Match deliveries more precisely to customer needs by mixing different SKUs on the same pallet and by mixing pallets from different suppliers. And don't wait in line at customs. Reduce the time spent in customs by clearing freight while still on the water or in the air. reducing supply chain partners to an effective number. The more partners there are in the chain, the more difficult and expensive the chain is to manage. Consider a supply chain of 3 echelons between factory and customers: 2 factory warehouses, 9 wholesale warehouses, and 350 retail stores. Reducing the number of partners reduces operating costs, cycle time, and inventory holding costs. When consider reducing the logistic partners, look for an entire echelon, such as all the wholesale warehouses or factory warehouses. But if you eliminate all partners, you would be back to the vertical integration strategy. Pooling risks. When manufacturers and retailers experience high variability in demand for their products, they can pull together common inventory components associated with a broad family of products to buffer the overall burden of having to deploy inventory for each discrete product. This is called pooling risks. This reduces storage costs and risks of stockouts by consolidating stock in centralized warehouses. Flow of goods and information. These flows exist in each supply chain. Enterprise must have internal process integration and collaboration between functions, as well as alignment and integration across the supply chain. Customer information flows through the enterprise via orders, sales activity, and forecasts. Value-added flow of goods begins as products and materials are procured.
Okay, friends, welcome to the session on logistics.
Sorry, just a moment. Just a moment. Just a moment. So as you could see, the logistics in this short clip, it was 8 minutes. I will share with you again. They were talking about what is logistics, and this is what we will study in class in more details each step of the way. So this is just a big overview. So let's go back to the textbook. Just a moment. Okay. Again, physical flows. When we talk about physical flows, this is something physical that can be touched. For example, shipping packages, hamburgers, Russia selling its gas, right? So these are physical flows. Another example is here. A moment. Chinese One Belt, One Road. So China is building seaports, roads, train, railways. Why? Because it needs to ship its goods, right? So China has many factories and it's producing goods. But they don't need so many goods for their country. They need to sell it to others quickly, right? So somebody in Europe needs some stuff from China. They cannot wait for months until the ship will come, and their planes are expensive. So China is building roads. China is investing in seaports to effectively, efficiently ship things. And that's why Chinese are friendly with Taliban, because they will be using Afghanistan as well for shipping. things through Afghanistan to Europe. At the same time, Turkey is friendly with Taliban because they will be also maybe receiving resources from that part of the world, right? So it's very important. This is called geopolitics. So this is a China One Belt, One Road initiative. So this is a big investment for China that they hope it will pay back over time because they will be shipping things from China to Europe. But I remember what happened in Suez Canal recently. Uh, one tanker blocked Evergreen blocked the Suez Canal, so for a week ships couldn't deliver goods, right? So it's like a super highway, right? Ships from here go into the Mediterranean Sea and one ship stop everything. So a lot of goods are being shipped through there, and mostly again from Asia, and more particularly from China to Europe. Look, these are containers, size of your room or size of your house, and inside there's many things, products being shipped, right? So these are physical flows. Okay, we need to know how to make sure they flow, right, non-stop. Also, do we need to store them, right? I will receive things. I need to store it someplace, right? If I receive just one box, okay, I keep it under my bed, right? But if I'm a big company and I receive many thousands and millions of pieces, I need to think, where will I keep it, right? So it's not free. So it's better not to have too much. When you have too little things, you will be short of stuff. But if you have too much, then you need to pay for shipping, for storage. That's why you need to pre-calculate everything and where it's coming from and how will it go, how much will it cost. So this is end user, okay? This is me, for example, right? So for example, I'm buying a phone from China, smartphone. I'm buying smartphone from China. But before it becomes a smartphone, it has many raw materials and components, right? Everything comes to one factory. They need to put it together. I don't need a screen. I don't need a microprocessor. I don't need a microphone. I need it all together in a smartphone, right? So it needs to come to that factory. They need to calculate how much they need, when it's coming, how it's coming, right? And then it will go, right? It will go. And how will I be shipped my phone directly from the factory, or it will go to some warehouse in China or in Thailand, or it will go to, it's up to them. And then will it come to some shop in Thailand or some warehouse where I will buy it online? Again, the company will decide. So what I care about, that if I buy smartphone online, that it comes fast, right? I don't want to wait for 1 month. Even 1 week is long, right? Now people want everything immediately. So maybe, okay, let's say this is Thailand and this is all in China. This is China. This is Thailand. Thailand. Okay, so there's some warehouse in China where they keep everything, and maybe they will ship some to some warehouse in Thailand, and it's sitting like Lazada warehouse, and it's sitting and waiting there. So as soon as I place the order, they ship it to me, so it's like less than a week, then I'm happy, right? If it's a week, then okay, but I'm not really happy. If it's more than a week, then who can wait, right? People cannot wait that long for things. They want it fast. So this is all needs to be thought of. So that factory in China needs to think about everything, what is happening in China. They also need to coordinate things with Thailand, so it's all flowing smoothly. In and of course they need to share information, right? So there's some is transportation, right? Some goes back information. Hey, we need more stuff. Can you ship us more stuff? Okay, we're shipping more stuff. Hey, we're low on stuff. Can you please send us more stuff? Okay. Oh, okay. We sold all phones. Okay, let's call back to US, order more microchips, call, okay, so this is USA, Korea, call Korea, we need more screens, okay? Because let's say iPhone uses screens from Samsung, things like that. Also in this class, you will hear a lot about bottleneck. What is a bottleneck? So think about a bottle, beer bottle, wine bottle, okay? So you see, this is very wide and it's easy to go here and a lot can go. But suddenly when it comes here, it stops, right? Because the bottle, the neck of the bottle is very narrow. So it's not good. So if in your company there's some bottlenecks, right? Everything suddenly stops, all the traffic stops, everything is like some person is very slow, some computer crashed, everything is lost. So everything was going fast and now it's stopping. So it's not good, right? We need to get rid of bottlenecks so everything is flowing smoothly and quickly. Okay, so you will read this chapter 2. Okay, about supply, suppliers, distribution, and supply chain. Right, inventory. Inventory is something that you have. Let's check our inventory. How much stuff we have? We're a factory. How many spare parts do we have? Do we need a large warehouse? Do we need a small warehouse? Okay, how are we packaging it? So companies need to design packaging as well. So it's things can travel and not break. At the same time, it needs to be cheap, easy to open. Or for example, if you're if you're shipping some pills, if you're shipping some drugs, right? Maybe they need special temperature. Maybe then you need to hide it from the light. Things like that. What if you're shipping animals, right? What if you're shipping food, right? You need to think about correct packaging, correct transportation. Okay, so transportation system. There are different things, right? You can transport things by road, rail, air, water, pipeline, right? Pipeline, Russia, gas, pipeline like gas, natural gas, gasoline, oil, water, digital, right? How will information travel? Do we have the digital cables, right? Or is it wireless? How does information travel? We are in Chiang Mai. Some students are now in China. I'm in Chiang Mai. Some others are elsewhere. So how are we connected? Is there like a cable from Thailand to China, or everything goes to Bangkok and then from, I don't know, right? But it's happening. We are not sure how it's working exactly, but we all rely on the speed, right? So if suddenly it stops, we cannot continue education, right? Because we're disconnected. So, and maybe when the internet comes to China, maybe it doesn't go directly to your city. Maybe again, it goes to Beijing, and then from there connected to you. So it's all been designed by IT people to make things faster, right? More efficient. For example, okay, I show you a picture here. Thailand railway map. So let's look how it works. Thailand railway map. Okay, so this is Thailand railway map. Can you see that everything is connected to Bangkok? So if I go from Chiang Mai and I want to go south, right? I still need to stop in Bangkok. It doesn't go directly, it stops in Bangkok and then it goes south. For example, same thing, if you are here, you cannot go straight up. You need to come to Bangkok, it stops. So on one hand, it's good, it's the capital, but on the other hand, it wastes money, right? There's no direct route. But airplane, and it's been created long time ago. But airplanes, no, there's direct flights, right? So if you fly from Chiang Mai to Phuket or to South, right, you don't need to stop in Bangkok because it's a waste of time and money. You fly directly. And so this is, you see, so everything comes to the central location. Sometimes it is good. For example, you watched the video I shared with you about UPS and FedEx. They have hubs, right? Everything comes to hub, then they separate it, and then it continues its travel. But for the customers, it's a little difficult when everything has to go to the big thing, to Bangkok, and slow down, right? For example, in okay, another example is USA. So this was before I showed you Thailand railway, but this is the map of US highways. So you see, it's all made like squares. So if you need to go to this location, you can go straight, or you can go down and up, right? So if suddenly something is blocked here, there's alternative ways how to get to your destination, right? So you see the roads in US, they don't go to one central place, right? It's like a chess. It's like the board of chess, right? So you can reach your destination in many alternative ways. So this is, again, before was Thai rail, and this is US roads. Okay, this is how they're designed. Because roads were designed later, so people could think. Also, again, Thailand has a different shape Thailand is more elongated and US is more broad. So they could do the grid like that. And they built it 70 years ago, maybe. But again, you see Florida is different. Florida is elongated like Thailand. Okay, next thing. Next thing, just a second. Again, rail, right? Railroads. For example, Cambodia, I think Myanmar, Laos, no rail there, right? Just roads. So some countries don't have rail. Some countries, like Russia, rely on rail for travel, for transportation. Every country, again, depending on the geography. If you have, like Laos, they have a lot of mountains, so it's very hard to build railways there. So they rely on roads, maybe rivers as well. Okay, air is now the most convenient way because you don't need to build roads, you just need to build an airport, and then modern aircrafts can carry a lot of things. So, and it's fast. So now a lot of transporting of goods is done through air. Okay, but it's maybe more expensive than shipping. And shipping on the sea, you can put more stuff, heavier stuff. So here they have a table that compares things. Okay, air. Whole capacity low, right? You cannot carry stuff that is too heavy. Cost is high, right? Airplane is not cheap. Water, price low. Pipeline, low. Digital, very low. Road, moderate. Rail, low, right? So air is fast, but is expensive. Loss or damage on the air is low at the same time. Market coverage. Road, point to point, right? We can drive a car from the factory directly to customer. But with the airplane, it's from the airport to the airport. And then from the airport, we need to order a car service, right? To start delivering. So please look at this table, very important, because on the exam, we'll ask you, could you compare air and water transportation, right? Could in terms of market coverage, or could you compare rail and air in terms of loss or damage, right? Please understand what this is. So in US, as I showed you the map of the US, it's covered by roads. So now in America, they have these huge trucks. Sure, something like that. And they're everywhere on the roads. So you see, it can carry one container that we saw on the picture with the ship. So it can carry maybe 1 or 2 containers. And it can go from the factory to the shop. And they're and they can travel everywhere in the US because the roads are everywhere. So this is the how American economy works, relying on these things, but at the same time, they need gasoline, right? A lot of gasoline. So now Tesla is designing electric trucks to deliver goods. Same in Thailand, I saw many smaller ones. And for example, Chiang Rai, right? There's Chiang Rai, there's no trains to Chiang Rai. And maybe it's expensive to ship things by air. So I'm not sure about water, but they can send a truck and the truck will deliver goods. Also in Thailand, gasoline, right? They produce gasoline in maybe south of Thailand or natural gas. And then they ship it through trucks to all parts of the country. Maybe they will build a pipeline and it's faster, but until then, trucks will deliver it. Okay. So for example, just a second. Just a moment. So this is Thailand. So Rayong and Bangkok, right? They have these are hubs. So maybe they produce their own. I'm not an expert on that. Maybe they produce their own gasoline. Maybe they ships come and bring it from other places, and then existing pipeline. You see yellow. So from that place, from Rayong to Saraburi, they can ship push gasoline, petrol pipelines. Then some are shipped to Lampang. But you see some are proposed. And then again, it comes to Lampang, but if it needs to come to Chiang Mai, right? Then they continue by road or by train. They calculate what's the best way. Okay, so oil pipeline, they push oil to a refinery, right? Crude oil. Just a moment, please. Okay. And of course, the pipeline in US, so Colonial, this news, Colonial pipeline. What happened in US if you followed the news? Colonial pipeline. In America, there's a pipeline that is pushing gasoline from. So they produce gasoline in Texas and Houston, and then they ship it up many thousands of kilometers up to almost to New York. Okay. But what happened was hackers attacked it and it stopped working because it relies on software. And hackers said, you need to pay us $5 million, otherwise it will not work, right? So pipeline now is so complex, it needs internet, it needs computers. So if it doesn't work, then you cannot, it doesn't work because it's very complex, not just a water pipe, right? There's many pumps that are pushing it, very complex. Okay, colonial pipeline. So same thing could happen with airlines, you know, some problems, weather. Say again, this ship that blocked Suez Canal. So there's problems and you need to think, okay, this stopped working. So do we have other ways to deliver goods? Okay, so this is the lecture for today. Just a second. Okay, now, do you have any questions?
No.
Just a moment. Okay, so your homework is, I will post it in MS Team, but first I will tell you. So please have one note, right? I hope you were writing down. If not, you know, write it down now before you forget it, what I was talking about, right? Chapter 1, chapter 2. Then I will put a link to one video about future of logistics, about DHL. Very interesting. Please watch it before our next class. Very interesting documentary about DHL in Europe, how they work. And you know, DHL also works in Thailand. So maybe you will like fall in love with this whole thing and then work for them, right? Then when you go to apply, you will show that you know so much that you will have a good job with them, right? It's a worldwide company. Okay, quiz. I will put a quiz as well in like 30 minutes based on what I taught today. So please do the quiz and the workbook. It's very easy. It's in files. You can work at your own pace. There's 8 chapters there. Just fill in the blanks, write words. It's like English. I want to make sure that you have the vocabulary for logistics. Right, so just do it. Do it at your own pace, and then at the end of the course, you will submit what you have. So download it, and you can just use it, open it as PDF and write, and then save everything. Okay. Just a second.